Hello, so last roundtable, we talked about the endless customer and how it can impact your sales cycle. Today, we're going to go through how content can help shorten the sales cycle and what content you actually need to give your sales teams. I'm joined by Claudia, and we're going to go through the top 7 questions we get asked about content. So hello, Claudia.
Hi, how are you doing?
So question number 1, what are the 5 types of content every MedTech sales team needs?
So first one is pricing. And when people think about pricing, it's not always how much the device costs. It's like what's included in the cost. Where's the value? How does it save me cost over time? So it's really looking at health economics as well. But it's looking at that whole price story. Then it's things like problems and concerns. And this is a really interesting one because it's actually, what are your competitors saying? What are you hearing out in the field? Because that's what's potentially stopping your audience from moving forwards. So then we look for comparisons. And when I say we, this is what people in general look for when they want to buy something. So we then look for comparisons. So actually, how do I know that this is the right product for me? How does this compare to that? Now, that can be hard in medical device, but there's always ways of doing these things. So that's another type we need to look at. Then it's a really important one for not only medical device, but every type of technology is reviews. So social proof. So how do I know that it's actually going to work? Who else has used it? Which KOLs are using it? How can I trust it? And then finally, which device is the best? Now, again, that's a really difficult one to do in medical device. It's actually how do we work around that? It could be awards, it could be lots of different things that can look into, but those tend to be the 5 types of content that we look for to really differentiate customers or to really differentiate companies and products and help people move through their buyer's journey.
So why are most MedTech companies missing these bits of content?
So I think we've always done things in MedTech. We've always done things the way they've always been done. So it's like, what information do our customers need to know? So often we talk about features and benefits. We talk about the things that we've always spoken about. I think why do people miss this type of content? Well, first of all, we're a regulated space. So I think people are uncomfortable about talking about some of these things. But second of all, we don't actually uncover these things either or note them down as things that should be used in content. So for example, we don't really listen every day to the questions our customers are asking us, or more importantly, asking the sales team. Because if we really listened intently, we'd find most of these questions come up. And then it's about how do we actually address it? So it's twofold. We're not listening for them, and then actually how do we answer it in a regulated space?
On the not listening for them, do you think that's sort of because marketing and creating content, but it's a sales team that are getting asked questions? Like, how does that relationship work?
Yeah, I think it can be. I think it's quite a different, they're often in silos, or that's what we see at the moment. So we often see marketing and sales can be in quite silos. And the challenge is, in today's world, the sales process is not just the sales process anymore. It's not when a customer gets in contact with you. The sales process is when the customer starts engaging with you online. And, so we now see 80% of a decision is made before somebody even gets in contact with you. So actually, how do we create that really amazing content and pull the sales process into being online? And it's no longer about marketing deal with online and sales deal with when, the customers come through. We need to combine those units together. And, marketing know how to deliver this material. They know how to communicate really effectively, but the sales team knows all the questions that are blocking the buyer's journey. So you're absolutely right. It's how do we bring those two together? Because when we do, that's when the magic happens. And that's when you get content that's hugely effective at moving people through the buyer's journey.
And from a sales perspective, what happens when these types of content are missing?
So I think there's a lot of things that happen, and it's throughout the whole sales process that you see. So I think first of all, you end up answering the same questions all the time. So you begin right from the beginning of the sales process at every time you have your first meeting. Whereas when content is really effectively implemented, people actually come to the first meeting, and instead of saying, tell me about your device, they say, when can I start? Because they already have that information. So I think that's a whole different way of thinking about it. But the other thing that happens is not only do you have the same questions coming up in every single sales meeting or every single first sales meeting, when we speak to customers or MedTech teams, they say 60 to 80% of the questions they get asked in initial meetings are the same every single time. So, imagine if you could eliminate those, what would that do to your sales process? So, it's slowing your sales process down, it's taking a lot more time. But also, if you don't have that content for people to find later, it's also blocking your sales process later on. So actually people stall and they don't move forward because they don't have the information they need to move forward. Because the only reason people don't buy something, well, there's two reasons. Firstly, they don't need what you have, and that's totally separate. Or secondly, they have issues, fears and concerns that they haven't had resolved, and they think, do you know what, I'll come back later, and they just don't come back. Or there's just too many questions for them to come back. And I think everybody who's listening to this will be able to relate to that in their own buying experience as well. Whatever you're buying, you go through that same process. You need to have those questions answered. So by not having that content, you're slowing your sales process down or stalling it at all stages.
And you told us what the 5 types of content were, but where do they fit in the sales cycle?
So they can fit at all different places. The most important thing, so, when you're looking at somebody's journey, first of all, it's like grabbing attention. So it's like, how do I grab somebody's attention so they actually want to then engage? So, that's really looking at the things, solving their problem. So what is the biggest problem they have and how can we solve that? So we actually grab their attention because you're going to solve their solution. So that could be, content, in the sense of it could be paid ads, it could be, brochures, it could be exhibition stands, all different types of that. But then once they've actually said, yes, I'm interested, then how do we find more information? So, that could be going to your website, finding animations on how your device actually works, the problems it solves. Maybe even a video that tackled those really difficult questions that actually your competitors are going and talking about and said, have you heard about this? Quashing those things in videos or animations or things like that. The content can appear at any stage during the sales cycle, but the most important thing, and it changes for every company, so I don't think we can give a finite answer to this. The most important thing is that you map your sales cycle out to start off with by stakeholder, and then you'll see exactly where that content needs to appear, because that's where you're getting that blockage. So I think it's, it's different for every product, every company, but yeah, it's mapping out the process to start off with. And then it'll be clear, it'll be very clear.
Can you talk about what the impact of content can be in the real world?
But actually, we've worked with 2 multinationals on this exact thing, and we've answered the really complicated questions that their competitors were talking about. So, the things that they really didn't want to come out, they didn't want to talk about, but actually we addressed it in video content in both of these instances. And it meant that complication just went away, or that concern went away, which was a really powerful thing. So no longer did their sales team have to address this or wait to address it, because actually it was addressed already. So it's really taking that elephant in the room and saying, yes, this is an elephant and this is how we deal with it. And it made the elephant go away, which was really powerful.
And it also made the elephant go away using the same phrase for everyone. There wasn't lots of different versions of how to get rid of the elephant.
Absolutely. And these big elephants are really difficult to talk about. So if you have the perfect answer to that elephant every single time, you're right. You don't need to train anybody on how to deal with it. It's already there in content that goes out before a sales meeting or sits online or something like that. And the power of it is, instead of having one-to-one meetings, you're dealing with the elephant one-to-one. If the elephant comes up, which mostly it doesn't because people don't say it, instead, you're dealing one-to-many with the elephant, which is really resolving that elephant. But you're absolutely right. The consistency is hugely powerful. And also, if it is a challenge, everybody's trained on it at the same time because it's in the video.
And lastly, if someone's watching this and wants to start building these 5 types of content, where do they begin?
So there's 2 places they can begin. First of all, they could contact us and we can help run full workshops for them, so that we bring their sales team together, bring their marketing teams together, and we help them to identify all of these questions, exactly where they fit in their sales cycle. Or alternatively, you can do this in-house and bring your whole sales team together and run a workshop to identify what these questions are. You have all of these types of content, types of questions already with your sales team. So it's just about extracting it and actually putting it in a system where you can continue to update what these questions are. If you do this well, it will give you your content calendar probably for the next 2 years. It's amazing the amount of content you can get from, and content that really moves the needle, but it's amazing what you can get out of a half-day workshop working with the team who are with your customers every single day. So that would be the first thing I'd do. I'd be bring your sales team together, run a workshop with them, and get them to tell you what all these questions are by stakeholder, by their sales cycle.
Lovely. So what is coming next week, Claudia?
So we've been speaking a lot about how customers make 80% of their buying decision before they even get in contact with the company. So we're going to look at what they're doing in that 80% and how you can influence it so that you don't lose a customer before you even knew they were there. So subscribe to our YouTube channel so you don't miss anything moving forward. And if you want help with creating your content strategy moving forward, book a call with our team.